Hello everybody and welcome to Working Title Productions. My name's Ben, his name is Ed, and we're here to bring you another episode of Movie Talk, and we'll do the intro as many times as it takes to get it right. Here in Australia, we're getting close to Australia Day, or good old Australia Day, which, for those of you who might be watching from outside of Australia, is our equivalent of the 4th of July. I know, look, you never know, man.
You never know. Do you want me to check the YouTube analytics right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
Maybe after we've shot this.
Okay.
That would be better. So in honour of Australia, and because we are Australian, we have Australian viewers, we're talking about our favourite Australian movies. Movies that were made and produced in Australia and are actually classified as Australian films. Films like Hacksaw Ridge don't count because even though Mel Gibson, the director, is Australian...
I don't think Hacksaw Ridge should count.
Would that... Yeah...
Personally, I think it should.
Yeah, it's because there's only two people...
Overwhelming amount of Australian actors.
But it is set as an American film. Nah, it's an Australian movie. You know, if you want to put it on it, you can. I'm not going to talk
We've talked about Hacksaw Ridge in 2 videos in the last month or so I'm not going to talk
Let's
about
avoid
Hacksaw
it.
Ridge again.
Yeah. Last 2 months.
Go watch it.
Films like... Okay, what's a better... Films like Star Wars Episode 2 and 3 and films like Superman Returns don't count because even though they were shot in Sydney, it's a predominantly American and British crew.
That's a soundstage as well.
Yeah, exactly. They literally came here to save money. So films like that don't count. These are films that are primarily made by Australians using Australian crew and resources and for Australian audiences first and the rest of the world second. Sorry guys, we need our own movies from time to time.
I wouldn't say one of mine is made just for Australian audiences. I feel like both of mine resonate quite well with international audiences.
That is true, but they are most definitely classified as Australian films.
Yours are like
truly through and through
Australian films.
Very much. One of them is kind of niche. But we'll kick off with one of my favourite Australian films, but the least of my favourites. And that is Happy Feet. And this is probably a film that is renowned throughout the world. This is one that a lot of people know and a lot of people should know about.
Won an Oscar.
It did win an Oscar. That's awesome.
Probably for Best Animated Feature. Best Animated Feature.
That makes sense. It went up against Cars, which is a good movie in its own right, but not nearly like as powerful as Happy Feet. A story that deals with global warming, that deals with, our impact on the ecosystems in the Antarctic and fish, penguins even, not fish, and penguins who are pariahs in their own little society. It's actually a really depressing movie when you think about it. Happy Feet is by no means a happy movie. It's like, look at this musical with talking penguins and that guy has no friends.
It's like this guy isn't like the rest of society. Let's just continually crush his dreams. No,
and then on top of that, hey,
amazing. Look
at this entire race of animals going extinct, and they have no idea why. And look, this one guy knows the answer, and no one will listen to him because he's the guy with no friends from the start of the movie. It's just a real downer for most of the movie. Great music. Everyone does a phenomenal job in their voice acting. The songs they sing are awesome. Like, Find Me Somebody to Love's in there, you know.
I remember.
It's awesome. Actually, 2006. That was the first time I ever heard Find Me Somebody to Love, and it is freaking
Now, Ben,
amazing.
I've got something to tell you. This might shock you a little bit. It's just called Somebody to Love.
That's crazy, man! What's everything Somebody to Love? My apologies. I got it wrong. I got things.
Find Me Somebody to Love. What would you call a song that?
Sorry. Jeez. Just condemn me. Condemn me the way you
condemn me.
It has a lot of heart, and it's directed by George Miller, Australia's, Prince of Directing. King of Directing, actually.
I wonder how many more times he will show up on this list.
I do not know, Ed. How many more times will George Miller show up on this list?
I didn't realise that.
It's fine.
Less than I thought.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll just push ahead.
The answer is 2 times. Happy Feet. I agree. Excellent movie. Australia. My first movie is from 1995. It's about a talking pig and it's called Babe. It's
It's about talking pig.
Talking animals, but specifically about Babe, the sheep pig.
Yeah, the sheep pig.
Yeah. Excellent movie. So for some reason I thought it was directed by George Miller. It's not directed by George Miller. It's directed by Chris Noonan.
I've never heard of him.
Nor have I. Oh, but George Miller wrote it, so
there you go.
George Miller.
George Miller fixes everything.
Yeah, this movie is just like really, really good. Just like the way they've like nailed down all the animals' personalities, and then like the human characters are really good as well. Like James Cromwell is excellent in this film, as he is in most things. Like if you've seen LA Confidential, that's a damn movie. Yeah, and like it's just like lots of fun. It's got lots of heart. And then it's just really, really funny to see just like this pig running around herding sheep, and then just like, it's there's just something about that's really, really cool, and somehow they managed to build like heaps of tension for the final act, which is insane considering it's about sheep herding.
It's
by a pig.
This movie has no right to succeed, but it does. I remember watching this movie a lot as a kid. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I saw it last year, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it with my mother.
I should really watch it again. Look, this film's got a lot of heart. This is like one of those films that like everybody seems to love. Like even like really macho boys trying to like act older than they really are. They see bad and like, oh yeah, it's a good movie. It's nice.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway,
I'm sorry I interrupted. I just wanted to... No,
you didn't interrupt at all. Yeah. I don't really have much else to say about it. Like, there's not really much that you can say about Babe. It's just a very straightforward, very good movie. So yeah.
It's a pig trying to be a sheepdog.
Australia. Ben.
That is not the cover I remember seeing for this movie. The cover I've got a very different one. Oh. This movie being The Dish. The Dish is a movie that came out in the year 2000 apparently. This movie is about the surprising story you might not know behind the Apollo 11 mission, of all things. This is about the...
Now, Ben, which cover do you have? This is all the different ones that IMDb has.
Wow!
Sam Neill's in it.
Sam Neill's in it. It's actually a pretty good cast. Everyone in this movie does everyone in this movie does a good job acting, if not a great job acting. Sam Neill is indeed in this, although if I'm not mistaken, Sam Neill's actually New Zealand. The Dish is actually about how the Apollo 11 missions were televised throughout the world, because in the United States what happened was that I can't even remember the technical problems that they faced, but they weren't actually able to directly broadcast the television? They weren't actually able to broadcast the
signal.
Yeah. They weren't actually able to broadcast the signals themselves. They couldn't get it to television sets around the world. So this little dish sitting in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a tiny country town in Australia, was faced with the daunting task of actually airing the Apollo 11 mission for the entire world to see. And there are actually a lot of surprising issues that they face. The film actually has a fair bit of drama to it, but being that it's an Australian film, it's, shot and made with a fair bit of levity, and they bring a fair bit of comedy to it as well. It's a really interesting story. It's got a lot of heart to it, and it brought tourism to the town of Parkes for decades. And you know what? It's basically all there is to see out there. No, I'm kidding. Parkes is a great town. So is Wolves. Actually, interestingly enough, the film is set in Parkes, but because Parkes was constantly renovated and refurbished throughout time, they actually had to shoot the movie in the town next door called Forbes, because Forbes has all of these traditional foundation buildings from Australian history, and Parkes just looks like a modern day country town.
Fair enough. Yeah. I haven't seen The Dish, but I have been to The Dish.
I have too, actually.
There you go.
Ed, what's your next movie?
My next movie is the newest movie on this list. It is Mad Max Fury Road.
My favourite movie of 2015, actually. More than The Force Awakens. Sorry, Star Wars.
Oh, it's definitely better than The Force Awakens. I'm trying to think what else came out in that year.
Shots fired. Lots of good movies.
Lots of good movies, yeah.
It's only 13 months ago. It's not that far back.
13 months? I mean, that would have been end of That would have been
Oh no, you're
end
right.
of
My bad. Star
2015.
Wars was 13 months ago.
Yeah, this came out in like May.
Yeah.
Come on.
June? May.
15th of May. It's sitting right there, Ben. Do you even
Oh,
read?
it is. This one, actually... Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. Let's just get back on track. Interesting.
Yeah, I would like
This one
that.
has the highest IMDb rating of all the films we've talked about.
I mean, unsurprising.
Babe only has 6.5. The Dish is like a 7.
Yeah, well, that's because Mad Max Fury Road is an excellent movie. Like, it's only 2 hours long. I say it's 2 hours long, but it doesn't feel 2 hours long. Because it's just, like, going the entire time. It's really, really, really good. But it's not just like a balls to the walls action film where it's just all action. There's like a lot of like heart that they bring to it. Like
The characters are interesting.
like
And-
Max himself, they hint at some stuff, but I would say he's not even the focus of the movie.
He
Furiosa,
gets his development in other movies.
yeah, for sure.
So
If it's even the same Max, who knows? I don't. Because I haven't
I think
seen
it
any
is.
of the other Mad Max movies come at me. Furiosa is the real star of this movie, and Charlize Theron is incredible as Furiosa. She's really, really, really good, and just the way she's just like, yeah, fuck this guy. I like these girls are cool and deserve to just like be cool on their own. Let's go road
Yeah.
trip.
Woo!
So good. And then like Nicholas Hoult gets this awesome little arc
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
even
He
though
plays Beast in the X-Men franchise,
He
doesn't
does play Beast in the
Yeah.
X-Men franchise. Well, in First Class onwards, because of course,
Well, yeah.
Kes a grandma
Yeah.
from X3.
Excellent
But yes,
Rated R, I forgot about that.
in America. It's
Of
only
course,
MA.
it's only MA.
It's only MA as well.
We just-
We'll let 15-year-olds into Mad Max.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, we'll
Actually,
let them even younger in if they've got their parents with them. Yeah.
You can literally let a 5-year-old in as long as they're with their
Yeah,
parents.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is
for
it
sure.
negligent parenting? Yes. Is it illegal?
No. I love Australia.
It's pretty great.
No Trump. No R ratings ever, pretty much.
Things get our ratings here, but they are brutal.
Yeah, like Saw,
Wolf
like
Creek.
Saws.
Wolf Creek gets an
Wolf
R
Creek
rating.
on R rating?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
When you watch Wolf Creek, you'll see.
I've only seen one
why.
scene from Wolf Creek,
It's
and
very,
I hid behind my
It's
jacket.
very rapey.
Very rapey. I'm gonna pick that.
It's you know what? This is a story for another day. Wolf Creek doesn't make this list because Wolf Creek, while it is an interesting film, is also disgusting.
We just study Wolf Creek, just like the idea of Wolf
At
Creek
university?
in one of my lectures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
text and context.
a lot of people hate it and a lot of people love it. It's a very divisive film. But Mad Max Fury Road,
On the other hand, not that divisive. Most people tend to love it, and it absolutely cleaned up at the Oscars as
It
well. Like
really
it
did.
won.
it won most of the technicals from
Won
memory.
6 Oscars,
6
which is
Oscars.
ridiculous.
It didn't win
Not-
sound design. That was
Not
Star
including
Wars.
Best Picture.
No. Which
Which-
probably arguably should have won because it did everything really well.
Film editing, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, sound mixing, sound editing, production design. Nominated for picture, directing, cinematography, and visuals.
You
Don't know why it wouldn't win cinematography.
I have no idea
That's a
why.
bit ridiculous.
I believe Star Wars won that.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
I know, right?
That's Mad Max,
Mad
Fury
Max
is
Fury
a
Road.
masterclass in filmmaking. Like,
It's a masterclass in action filmmaking. Like if you're gonna do if you're gonna do a character piece, there are better films.
yeah, true, but like just the way that like as a blockbuster, as a modern blockbuster in 2015, the way that film was made was insane.
Excellent
all practical
character
effects,
beats, excellent.
all the
film.
props work.
It's not all practical effects.
Mostly practical effects.
A
Most of the
a
CGI.
giant thunder sandstorm is definitely CGI.
Yeah, but like most of the CGI went towards Furiosa's arm. Apparently, that's like 75% of the CGI.
Yeah, no, there are CGI rocks which they place like in front of
Oh,
the trucks.
CGI rocks.
No, like
no.
it like is literally like a lot. The entire film is shot in like the same stretch of desert road in the
okay.
desert, and then the entire movie's just every landscape looks different because it's a different CGI landscape. They actually just shot the same piece of road over and over again. It's
They
like,
would.
rock there, rock there, rock there.
Very clever, actually, when I think about
So
it.
it's not that it's all practical effects. It's that it's the most
But like the
beautiful
things that you would
marriage.
expect would be CGI are not CGI.
Yeah, it's the most beautiful
Like the
marriage.
pole riders and stuff you would expect to be CGI,
they're
but they're
real.
not.
They're real.
They were like street performers from Sydney, and George Miller was like, "Come be in my movie."
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's the most beautiful marriage between practical
Yeah.
and CGI effects ever.
And then the the Doof Warrior, his guitar,
Oh.
and the amps. Those work. Those are working props.
You will never be this metal.
and all the cars work as well, apparently.
Yeah, no, they're
all
real
drive.
cars. They're
they all drive.
all made.
Some of them
that's
were
the
being
best
made in
part.
like 2005 as well, apparently.
Oh yeah, this movie has been in production for a long time.
Yeah.
One of the longest productions ever. They literally said this
And then they
movie
had to
will
do
never
reshoots
come.
anyway.
Yeah, they literally said this movie will never come back from production hell, development hell even. And then it just came back because George was like, oh yeah, I think I'll make this movie now.
Oh yeah.
And he did it. Gotta wonder how he got the budget to film this. Did he like fund this himself? How did he ever get the approval to make this
Warner
movie?
Brothers, man. They'll make anything. Look at Suicide Squad.
They really will. But no, this movie has no right to exist. A sequel that comes 30 years after the previous one, which is pretty bad. Like, I've seen every movie in this franchise. Beyond Thunderdome is awful. It makes no sense. It's just, it has no right to warrant a sequel. But he gets a sequel. And it's a really great one. And it really, actually, it redeems the franchise because the first one is good. The second one is really good as well, especially when you consider when they were made. The third one's kind of crap, so it almost ended on a whimper until this one came along. I can't wait for sequels to this franchise. Moving right along backwards.
Very bloody.
I was going to pick... Edward talked about Mad Max Fury Road. I was going to talk about Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, which was... Actually, it's really interesting. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior is pitched as... Don't worry, don't freak out. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior is actually pitched as the first film in the franchise to the United States. Because even though the first Mad Max did really well here, not many people saw it overseas.
Okay.
So when the sequel was made, they really, really pushed it to an American audience. It's just called The Road Warrior when it came out over there.
Okay.
It was only years later that they actually renamed it Mad Max 2, Road Warrior, which was the Australian name.
Yeah.
And eventually it became the only name. But it took a long time for that to happen. That was a very American film, which is why I couldn't pick Mad Max 2. Because even though it's better than the first Mad Max, it is actually very much an American film. I feel like it's kind of in that grey area between Australian and American. The first Mad Max movie is undisputably an Australian film, and it is one of the best Australian films ever made, and that's why I'm picking it as my final film to talk about today. Mad Max is an exceptional movie. This film came out in 1979. This is the same year as Alien. This is 2 years after Star Wars. This is 4 years after Jaws. This film has one of the smallest budgets. Like, not literally, obviously, but this film has an exceptionally small budget.
200,000?
Yeah. 200,000.
What?
That's actually...
How is it only 88 minutes? That's insane.
It is a very short movie.
93 minutes special edition, but you know.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I own.
That's not a lot of money.
A budget of 200,000 in 1979. You inflate that today, that still doesn't even get to 1 million.
Yeah.
For decades, Mad Max was the most profitable movie ever made. Like, just from, like, you take your budget and then it's profit and you, like, you divide your profit by your budget, and it's like, in that percentage rating, in that ratio, Mad Max was the most profitable movie for decades. Nothing got overtaken. I don't think it was until Paranormal Activity came out. I don't think it was until then that it was actually overtaken. It was insanely popular for such a tiny budget.
I wonder how Deadpool compared.
Deadpool would have compared not nearly as well, because it had a budget of 30 million, arguably 45 million. Compared to...
Made a lot of money, though.
Yeah, but even compared to, like...
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Even
I was just
by
wondering, because
inflation,
people were
Mad
talking
Ma-
about how much profit Deadpool made, and I was like...
Yeah,
so I was just
it
curious.
is... No, by today's standards, Deadpool is exceptional. But Mad Max goes down as one of the most profitable movies of all time. But it's not just that it did that. It's not just that it took off. It's that it's actually deserving of it. This is an original idea. Just came out of the blue. They wanted to film... The first one isn't entirely dystopian the way the rest of them are. The first one is very stripped back. It's only meant to be like a couple of years in the future. It's literally decades in the past now, obviously, time-wise. That's the way things work. We don't actually reach our dystopia, so we have to push the timeline further and further forward.
Yeah, and you can see in the film, like Mad Max himself is still considered a policeman.
He's part of a police force.
Yeah,
it's a future
and, like,
police
that sort of
force.
thing.
It's not the same way we have it today.
Yeah. And
This
like
is-
and like they wear like leather and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not like wearing rags and stuff like they do in
But it's-
Fury Road.
It doesn't. The filming techniques don't necessarily age well, but the idea has aged so well, and it's such a real threat that we'll never escape. The idea of the world running out of water and running out of gas. Like, what will happen when we get to that point? And people just become savages. And this first movie is about this guy who's part of the force. He's trying to contain it. He's trying to keep society together. And he just gives up. It's not working. He has to leave. He can't be a policeman in the middle of the fucking desert of Australia during the apocalypse anymore. It's too hard. So he gives up. He tries to escape. And he can't escape it. It's this brilliant, tragic story of how a man becomes broken. This is no redemption story. Like, he literally just breaks. And I don't know that they ever intended a sequel, but it leaves so much room for sequels that they did eventually make, and they are still making to this day. It's just really awesome. The action for when it was made is amazing. Considering the budget they have, the action stunts that they pull off in this movie are really incredible. They toss cars through buses.
Nice.
On a $200,000 budget.
Nice.
And somehow pull it together. And the best part of it all is that this film is directed by two first-time directors. Single director, two first-time writers. James McCausland? I can never say his name. Who was a first-time writer with his buddy and best friend, fellow nurse from the Hospital of Melbourne, George Miller, who also directed the movie in his very first directorial. That's totally the wrong one. I'm getting so tongue-tied. George Miller's debut as a director. And him and his buddy produced this movie, first-time filmmakers, and they made arguably the most iconic and important movie in Australian film history. And that's why I had to talk about it. But George Miller cannot be denied. He's a world-renowned. That's how we talk in Australia. No. He's a worldwide renowned director, and he deserves his place right up there in the highest echelon of directors, and he really is a testament to what Australian filmmaking can be. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy Australia Day to all of you, especially if you live in Australia and you're watching from Australia. We really hope you stay safe and stay merry. And remember...
Don't die from drinking.
Don't die.
Please.
I could make a whole video about why getting completely shit-faced on Australia Day is the worst thing you can do on Australia Day.
Yeah.
Even though I drink on Australia Day and I have fun and I act like an idiot, but I never get munted. You know what? I'm sorry. Stay safe. Stay happy on Australia Day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff like this, you can subscribe, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you do that. We have a Facebook page you can check out as well at facebook.com/working-title-YouTube. What are your favourite Australian movies? You can comment below, let us know. If you want to actually tweet me or Ed directly, more than happy to get into a conversation. You can tweet Ed at Edward Nowak, spelt the way you would normally spell a name, but with no spaces, obviously. And you can tweet to me at BenchWaters01, all lowercase with a number. No! Can we just do it and you just do audio at the end of the video?
Sure.
Just like, it's just a black screen. So close. Thank you everybody for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Fuck.
That was gold. Do you want to grab the lights just so that...
Oh my god, it's boiling in here.